more and more is coming out now. AJ Fury, like you said, I'll have something to say this week. You have said it, August 7th or August 14th. Any news back from Team Fury? Seen some comments from both sides about what's happening. What's the latest update with this?
Yeah, all positive. I mean, you've seen Frank Warren come out with August the 14th, which is correct. We agree on something on that respect. The 7th was the original date. Of course, that's also the final day of the Olympics, although it's on different time zones. 14th in Saudi Arabia is the done deal. It is Eid over there at the moment, so it's a bit difficult to put pressure on in terms of securing financial documents and paperwork that Team Fury need. Don't forget, it's the same organisation that we did the Andy Ruiz fight with, so we're very comfortable with the deal. But as far as they're concerned, they've never worked together before, so they're doing the right job, which is to make sure that everything is in order from their side. It's nice now to get everybody moving forward, saying yes, August 14th, it's on, and we can move forward now, start planning the press tours, the media tours, and a build-up that will be possibly as good as the fight in many ways, and start to get very excited after a long road.
Is the venue built? Do they need to build it? Forgive me if I haven't seen it, but obviously the Ruiz fight was in Riyadh. Mm-hmm. I know that the Super Series has been over there and used Jeddah. Have you got a location that you can confirm?
Yeah, they want to build another stadium. I mean, they've got also indoor options, but August is about 23 degrees at 11 p.m. It's quite warm, but they want to create something very, very special. You remember last time they built the stadium for the Andy Ruiz fight in just 7 weeks. That held 18,000, and this will be a similar setup. They have the opportunity to hold it indoors, but they want to create something that's going to just shock the world here, and they want to, if they can, try and build another stadium just for this fight.
And in terms of it wasn't a threat, but the prospect of Fury Wilder 3, that arbitration looks like it is coming to an end. Is that a relief for everyone involved? Was that always a possibility that Fury could go on and box Wilder again, and that would put everything on hold? Is that another box ticked?
Yeah, I think there was never any doubt that the arbitration could stop the Fury against the AJ fight, but of course, I guess the other side just wouldn't stop in that respect, and they had to go through the post-process. Bob Arum always assured us that wouldn't be a problem. He's looked to be correct on that, and hopefully Deontay Wilder continue his career, because I want to see him fight again. And I just feel that any other fight other than AJ Fury just feels like it's going to be a letdown. So Fury against Wilder is a great fight. No one's interested in seeing it. AJ against Usyk, great fight. No one's interested in seeing it. Excuse me. But, of course, everybody wants this fight, and they're going to get it.
You will have seen, though, the exchanges between the two. Spartan, I'm getting tired. You know that popcorn meme where you're just waiting?
Yeah.
Are you watching that unfold as well?
I want it to carry on. And I think you're going to get a different AJ in this build-up. I think he's excited because he's never really, other than the Dillian White fight, he's not really been in a sort of that kind of trash talk environment. I think he wants to be in that environment. I think he's got his own plans for Tyson Fury. I think he's going to enjoy it. There was part of me, Tyson Fury's very good at what he does in and out of the ring. But I think maybe if this fight was made 6 months ago, it might be slightly different now. But AJ's got the bit between his teeth, goading him a little bit. I'm sure these two DM each other, goading each other backwards and forwards. I mean, I get DMs from Tyson Fury. Sometimes are pleasant, sometimes are unpleasant.
But then you go and meet him in Vegas for a coffee, and it was good.
Yeah, but I think he just realised, we're all doing all we can to make this fight, and it's going to be very beneficial to the both of them, not just financially, but from a legacy point of view as well. So, but when the announcement comes and when the press conferences start, I think those pleasantries will go away, and it becomes a little bit personal, because it doesn't matter who respects who. Both sides absolutely desperate to win, because this is everything. This is the undisputed heavyweight world championship. So there's no fun and games. There's no, oh, thanks, good to see you, mate. Thanks for sorting this fight. It's them and us, basically, and war. And AJ will be going to war with Tyson Fury, and he has plans to go in there and absolutely demolish him. And that's what he's planning to do. That's what I believe he's going to do. In the meantime, we've got to go through the build-up, which is going to be a lot of fun, and get prepared for the biggest sporting event of 2021.
Oh, woof. He set that up. You're free to go now. Everybody that's watching that has just gone, wow, okay. I mean, doesn't do things by half measures, said he. Hearn. That is a biggie. Adam, just come onto that orange cross there on the floor. I've got to get your reaction to that, because, yes, we want to finish by talking about Joshua Buatsi, but God, he knows how to sell it, doesn't he? He's got us all going now. I'm standing there like a nodding dog off camera, like, wow. He's convinced me. I get the sense there's still more to do, though. We're not there yet. Maybe we can sort of move to orange alert, but we're not quite there yet. Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of these. You know, for every great bit of news there, there is a little bit on the other side. There's two sides to every story. Eddie makes it sound great, but we're not quite there yet, are we? Although I do feel like we're a lot closer than we were.
I remember times when we had Frank Warren on one phone, Adam Booth on another. David Hay and Klitschko was one that I think we were working on Christmas Day. You know, so these are difficult fights to put together. Obviously, you mentioned the Wilder arbitration, but you know this fight is going to happen. I've always said it that Anthony and Tyson both want the fight, and it really goes down to the fighters. You know, ultimately, if they do want to do it, then a deal can be made. You know, we've had contracts signed, we've had then sites and dates and all of this sort of stuff. It will happen. I'm absolutely convinced it will happen. I just think that we need a definitive announcement, you know, pretty soon now, because I think people are starting to get frustrated with it all, and I think what we don't want is this to drag on and on and on, and eventually, you know, in a month's time, we suddenly get the announcement. People say, hang on a minute, it's a bit sort of, you know, Peter and the Wolf, isn't it? That sort of, you know, are we going to believe it's even going to happen then? I think that all the parties have got to come together. Hopefully, you know, when the I's and the T's are finalised, which I believe will be very, very soon, and everyone needs to come together. Bob Arum, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, and the fighters, and say, right, this is happening, and this is the date. We think it's August the 14th. We think it's Saudi. But we need to hear it from all of them, and I think when that happens, of course, then we start getting really excited. And Eddie's right, you know, the build-up is going to be as good as the fight, isn't it? It's a fantastic sort of clash of personalities, of characters. It's the two greatest heavyweights on the planet. They're both British. They're both chalk and cheese in character and in style. It's going to be fantastic. So it's a mouth-watering, you know, matchup. It's got everything. It could be the sporting event of the year, even with the Euros and the Olympics and so much else that's going on. It could be, but we want to definitively get it announced, and I think we need to do that. I'm getting people saying to me, you know, I'm getting a bit bored of this. I've heard it announced. I've sort of, is it going to happen? What we don't want is people thinking that when it is properly announced, it's not going to happen, because there's been so much toing and froing. So I think we do need a definitive announcement within the next week or two from all the parties. We need a big global tour. We don't want to get everybody sort of focused in on August the 14th, you know, midsummer. It'll be absolutely amazing. And of course, when we get that, and we get the two of them at the dais at those press conferences, you know, out in Saudi, I don't know, New York, LA, England, wherever they want to take it, it will be that's when we can really believe. And it's a fight that I think that all fans out there deserve after what we've been through in this pandemic. I think it's a fight that both AJ and Tyson Fury deserve and want more than anything. It's a legacy fight. All the belts on the line, the world heavyweight champions, both from our country. It's fantastic. It's a shame it won't happen at Wembley or at Spurs or somewhere here. It can't. Finances take over. We're going to go to the Middle East, and it's going to be unbelievable.